welcome back to Phenomena. I'm your host, Mimi Dibbs, and today we're going to be talking about Bigfoot. This is one of probably arguably the most well-known cryptid out there, right? We did the Yeti before we did the Bigfoot. I was going to say before we did the cryptid. They're both cryptids. Bigfoot is arguably like more well-known, like even more well-known than like Mothman. Or Loch Ness Monster, both of which we've already done. So I don't know why it took us this long to do Bigfoot. It almost felt like it was like too like obvious. Then I realized I'm like, what do I know about Bigfoot other than the fact that it's known also as a sasquatch, right? And that he clearly has big feet, one could assume. Also, I feel like I've been on a black and white shirts kick lately. And you know what? I'm okay with it. I feel like this shirt specifically gives me like bank robber vibes. I was like looking at this like meme that was like, why is it that always like old timey robbers are always like, yeah, and tell them the Mickey gang and his gonies were here. Like they're always trying to like tell people who robbed the bank. Like they're not very good robbers in that sense, unless they're career criminals. But anyway, yeah. So you don't know, maybe I just finished robbing a bank before this. You don't know. It's fine. Anywho, let's explore the rabbit hole of Bigfoot. Before we dive into the script, I wanted to mention this one was written by Griffin. Yay! Our lovely permanent scriptwriter, head cryptid writer, Griffin. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for writing this out. I'm super excited. It should be a good one. All right, so step aside, Yeti. It's time to talk about the original cryptid celebrity, Bigfoot. Yes. Better known as Sasquatch. See? I was right. And also, the wild man of the woods, sometimes known as the 7-foot sneakerhead of the Pacific Northwest. Ooh, I didn't know he originated in the Pacific Northwest. I also wonder if he's been spotted elsewhere. Because I know, like, with Yeti, he's usually spotted in places where it's, like, snowy and cold. So, where is Sasquatch/Bigfoot spotted? I feel like mountainous regions, but I guess specific to the Pacific Northwest. Specifically the Pacific. Wait, bars? Wait. Eminem? No. For centuries, people have whispered about a massive, hairy figure stalking the forests of North America. A creature that's always just out of frame, just out of focus, and just out of patience with our camping trips. Facts. Yeah. He probably is just like, y'all keep coming into my house, and then you're trying to like take photos and get autographs, and it's like, girl, you walked into my house, i.e. the woods. So, like, take a step back. But what exactly is Bigfoot? Is it a missing link, a very committed prankster in a ghillie suit, or maybe just the forest's best kept secret? Ooh, so lace up your boots. Ooh, boots the house down, diva. Steady that camera and let's go stomping through the myth. No bug spray required. Why not? I feel like if you're going in the woods, you should probably get bug spray. Not Griffin giving camper advice. Don't break bug spray. You'll be fine. What? If you're going to find the Sasquatch in the woods, presumably, I would suggest bring bug spray. I mean, if you're anything like me and I get like eaten up out there, they eat me alive. The bugs, yeah, I love when people are like, yeah, my blood is like really sweet, I guess. Like, I don't know, like bugs like really just love picking me. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about me. And maybe I just smell so sweet and like I'm so irresistible. Anywho, before we get into the lore, let's get into this week's Phenomannouncements. So yeah, as you could tell, we are going to do the little intro to the script before we get into the Phenomannouncements so that we can hook your attention so that you can figure out whether or not it's what you want to stay around for, and then we'll get into the lore in just a second. But for the Phenomannouncement, which is the Phenomena weekly small business announcement, I wanted to shout out Elena, who is amazing. I found her on TaskRabbit. She helped put together my kitchen island / like cart thing, and has like a drop leaf, so it's amazing. Drop leaf is like when it like can be longer, but then it goes down normally to save space, and then you can like pull it up to give you more counter space. It's fantastic. I didn't want to do it. I feel like my back's been hurting. I'm still dealing with like long COVID symptoms. So I was like, standing for more than like 5 minutes makes me like really lightheaded. So I was like, I need someone to help. And she is one of the few women on TaskRabbit that does furniture assembly, which is crazy because I feel like I've assembled all of my furniture in my house. John rarely assembles it. I feel like I'm the engineer in the house. And so I was surprised not to see more like females on there, but I'm really glad she was on there because John is away on a business trip this week and I wasn't going to be alone with a man. what? Be alone with the number one predator to my race? Absolutely not. No. Like literally between Sasquatch and a man, I'd probably have Sasquatch. I'd rather be alone with Sasquatch than a man because Sasquatch doesn't have a track record of killing women, not nearly to the extent that men do. Elena, she gave me her business card. It's so cute. She's the founder and CEO of Home Sweet Assembly. She's not only on TaskRabbit, but she's also on Home Sweet Assembly. I will definitely, and the back of it says, let's make your house a home, one piece at a time. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with her. She is the sweetest, kindest, most knowledgeable person. She's been on TaskRabbit for like 10 years. She brings her own tools. She's remarkable. So if you're like me and you're just like, you know what, I bought this piece of furniture that I just can't be bothered to put together, or like you're not feeling well, or you just like want someone to come to your house and efficiently help put stuff together, and while also being a dope-ass person who loves cats and dogs because she was super friendly to both of my animals, definitely give Elena a try. She's awesome. She's in the Los Angeles area, so keep her in mind. Now, let's get back into the lore. The legend of Bigfoot runs deep in North American soil, especially in the misty forests of the Pacific Northwest. Oh yeah, I was wondering like if it was going to be specific to the Pacific Northwest. Okay, honestly, that's a bar and a half. If Eminem hasn't made a bar out of that, he has to ASAP. Pacific Northwest. Anyway, for generations, indigenous communities have told stories of massive, hairy beings dwelling in the wilderness. Sometimes a guardian. I was wondering if it was going to be like a forest guardian or like a guardian of the wilderness, because like that makes sense. Sometimes a trickster, like a fae or fairy. Sometimes a warning, respect the land, or the land's protector might come knocking. Yeah, I like that. That's also just a good thing to keep in mind, like leave something better than you found it. You know, I feel like that's what Sasquatch would want. He's like Smokey the Bear, but the scarier version, the one that's gonna like come and mess your shit up, like your campsite, if you don't respect the land. European settlers heard these tales and naturally turned them into ghost stories by the campfire. By the 20th century, the name Sasquatch, from the Halamalan word, what is it? How do you pronounce it? Satchki. I really have no idea. Became shorthand for something big and hairy lurking just outside self-service. What? Wait, did you mean that sarcastically? Because they didn't have cell service, the settlers. Wait a minute, you're trying to trick me. That makes sense, like something lurking outside the tent. The real cultural explosion came in 1958 when loggers in California, classic, found enormous footprints. A journalist dubbed the mysterious culprit Bigfoot, and just like that, a legend went viral decades before the internet. See? Okay, you just answered my question. There's no way they had cell service back then. Griffin, I'm on to you, okay? Fact check my ass. I'm kidding. That is, I would assume the footprint had to be like big enough for people to wonder if it came from a person or a being. But I feel like it always is a footprint, not like a paw print or something with claws, which I think is interesting because like Sasquatch has just regular feet. Like, who decided that? That's so strange. Just like that, the mysterious culprit, Bigfoot, went viral. Then came 1967, Bluff Creek, California. Two guys with a shaky camera captured what would become the most famous Bigfoot footage of all time, the Patterson-Gimlin film. In it, a massive, hairy figure strolls through the trees like it's late for brunch. Oh, I love it. He's like, dang it, I'm always freaking late to this. The deers are gonna yell at me for being late. I love it. But yes, oh my God, wait, I remember telling someone that I have a YouTube channel called Phenomannouncements, and they were like, do you know about the Patterson-Gimlin film? And I was like, no, what? And they're like, yeah, it's literally the documented, like, version of Bigfoot. So, like, people that say Bigfoot isn't real, like, they're lying. And I'm like, okay. But again, this is getting, like, conspiratorial. I feel like we're losing the plot, but interesting. So this gives me a little bit more context to work with. To this day, those 59 seconds are the Beyonce of cryptid content, an untouchable icon, no matter how many skeptics try to cancel it. Based on these accounts, what does Bigfoot supposedly look like? So in terms of height, he's usually between 7 and 10 feet tall. That's kind of a big range. 7 is like, okay, tallest basketball player. 10 is crazy. I could see 10 would be more like, oh, okay, that's like not human. You know what I mean? 7 is like, that's a really tall person. I don't know. Weight, anywhere from 500 pounds to full-on tree trunk with feet. What would a tree trunk weigh? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck? If a woodchuck could chuck wood. I also saw a video that was like, why would you make a rhyme about woodchucks chucking wood when you know they can't chuck wood? Like, that's disrespectful to the woodchucks, which, agreed. No, that's like, so, okay, like 500 to 1,000 pounds. That's wild. Appearance, hairy, broad-shouldered, long arms, sometimes with a face that's just human enough to be unsettling. Ooh, yeah, like the Uncanny Valley. Yeah, because that's the thing is like, I feel like supposedly Bigfoot has like hands, like that are hairy on top, but like hands and feet, not claws or paws or anything like that. So it's like, that's what's so odd. And the thing is like the face also looks humanoid enough to be like, what is this thing? Like, is it just, it almost seems like like when I think of a Sasquatch or Bigfoot, it seems to me like a primitive version of a person. You know what I mean? Like very, very hairy, mostly everywhere, but with humanoid features. Smell, ooh, frequently reported as awful. Think wet dog plus compost bin. Hate that. No. Oh no. What if it's just a wook? Wait, how is this the first time I'm like considering the fact that it's like maybe just a wook out in the wilderness that's like super hairy or is wearing extra fur and it just smells terrible? Because, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think you would pay a lot of attention to how he smelled. But then, isn't Sasquatch the brand for, like, men shower gel or something? So do you want to smell like a Sasquatch? I'm confused with that branding, because what are you talking about? Or is it saying that Sasquatch does want to smell good? I don't understand. According to this, he smells terrible. So I would not want to smell like him or smell him ever. Anywhere. Legends don't grow this big without people trying to make sense of them. So how have we tried to explain the unexplainable? Let's take a look at the theories. Good. That was a good segue. Segue. Number 1, undiscovered primate. Oh, primate. Primate. Yeah, I was like primate. Primate is a Pokemon. Primate is a correct word. I almost gaslit myself into thinking it wasn't, but it is. Okay, so this kind of goes along with my theory of like primitive person almost, but like undiscovered primate. So I wonder if this is going to go into like a different, like a version of a primate that is the closest to human, but what he's almost extinct because he's like one of the last ones around. So the dream scenario for believers. Ooh, this theory hinges on the idea that Bigfoot is a part of a surviving population of Gigantopithecus. Oh, I know this word. Okay, Gigantopithecus. The same theory people throw at the Yeti, but with fewer snowstorms. Okay, so like basically same thing, same creature, but in a different area, right? Somewhere it's not snowy. Hidden deep in the vast North American forests, these elusive giants avoid humans and quietly binge watch the forests grow. Ooh, interesting. That's like watching paint dry, I feel like. I mean, they binge watch the forests grow. I like the idea that they're there to ensure the forest growth, because that's good, because the more forests we have, the more oxygen we have, which is great. Love that. Sign me up. Evidence? Nada. But it's a big country with a lot of trees. So I don't know. People might just be like, where there's trees, there's Bigfoot. The end. Boom. You're telling me Bigfoot doesn't exist? Forests. Boom. Riddle me that. It's like, what? That doesn't really check out, but okay. I like the idea that he might be like a forest guardian. That makes me happy. Theory number 2, bears on 2 legs. Okay, so similar to the Yeti theory, that makes sense. That checks out. A lot of sightings might just be bears standing upright. Bears can walk bipedally for short stretches and in bad lighting. And if you really want to see Bigfoot, you might just convince yourself that Smokey the Bear hit a growth spurt. Yeah. Especially if you're like scared and people like go out and depending on like the lighting and then like if you see a furry being. But then it's like if you were to follow a bear, it wouldn't leave Bigfoot tracks, right? It would leave big paw tracks, bear tracks, one would say. So, Interesting. I don't think it's a bear, but I can see how people could get confused. But I feel like that'd be so easy to just like debunk and be like, okay, follow that creature. Oh, look, it's got paws. Never mind. Bigfoot. It's not called Big Paw, is it? Case closed. Theory number 3. Hoaxes and hype. Blurry photos, rubber footprints, gorilla suits. From backyard pranksters to full-on tourism campaigns, Bigfoot hoaxes have been as popular as the legend itself. And honestly, who hasn't wanted to cause a mild Bigfoot panic just to see the news? Yeah, true. I feel like there was one specific video that I saw like on a hill of someone like on a train or something being like, whoa, it's Bigfoot. And I'm like, that's clearly a person in a Bigfoot suit walking around an area that like looks like, but it's not even the forest. It's like out in a clearing on a hill. And so I don't know. It doesn't seem very like, it just feels attention grabby, which is annoying because like if there is a Bigfoot, I want to know. But people are going to people. And they're always going to be throwing red herrings out there and trying to like dress up as Bigfoot. And now like I feel like advertising campaigns will use Bigfoot as like a way to like sell their products and stuff. And he's just, it's grown beyond, you know what I mean? Like the legend is just at this point where it's just interesting when you talk to people that are like, yeah, but there's a video. And you're like, okay. And then these are the same people that are like, yeah, the moon landing is fake, actually, because as you can see, it's all in a studio, and it's a studio. And you're like, so you believe that the video of Bigfoot is real, but that the moon landing was fake? Like, what are you talking about? That's how I feel about conspiracy theorists. Because remember, on this channel, we're going down the rabbit hole without falling all the way down. And it's like nice to talk about where these legends came from and like how and why people have been saying that they've seen sightings of Bigfoot. Honestly, it's like I'm not here to try to tell you that Bigfoot exists or doesn't exist. It's just interesting how a couple of sightings from people that seemingly didn't talk to one another about what they saw, where they didn't get together about like, hey, yeah, we're all gonna say that he's like 10 feet tall and blah, 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 and he's hairy and he's got big feet. Like, but then you heard, it's just a weird influx of sightings. And then obviously now I feel like we're so far removed that it's hard to tell like what the very first sighting was, I guess. But yeah, hoaxes are definitely gonna be up there. And I feel like Bigfoot's lore is just inextricably linked with hoaxes at this point, unfortunately. Last theory, psychological and forest soundtrack. Ooh, the woods can mess with you. Wind, animals, and imagination can turn a snapping branch into a monster. Add a foggy morning and some group hysteria, and boom, instant Bigfoot encounter. Yeah, I could see that. Especially like the bipedal bear scenario. And I feel like people would never like get close enough to the Bigfoot. Like they're always too scared to like go near it. Because again, like you would need to just check to see what its tracks were. I think that's like the main reason it's called Bigfoot is because of the Bigfoot tracks. And bears wouldn't make those same tracks. Dang it. Anyway, a note for our women in STEM. Science hasn't found a single hair, bone, or credible poop sample that can be definitively linked to Bigfoot. And yes, people have tested poop. You gotta test everything. That makes sense. And yet the legend grows. Bigfoot is more than just a creature. It's an idea. It's about the wild places that remain untamed. It's about the thrill of thinking something unknown is still out there beyond the reach of Google Maps. Yeah, nice. I like that. I love that. Because true, it's like, I was wondering if there's anything credible aside from this, obviously, like, video, which, how credible is that? Like, as far as like a woman in STEM scientific idea, where can we look to? And it's like, we don't have anything. There's nothing to suggest that Bigfoot ever existed, which is so fascinating because it's like the lore is so overgrown at this point. It's beyond. It's crazy. And I wonder if it like even stems back to like when people were like the super early versions of people. And I wonder if like there were people that civilized faster than some other people. Or you know when like all the Homo sapiens or whatever, how we went through like different iterations and there were people that weren't as evolved into like humans. Like there were people that are like middle evolution that ended up dying out. But then I wonder like, was Bigfoot one of those before they died out? And would that be considered like a primitive primate? Because it's like the earliest rendition of mankind's evolution. right? I don't know. I feel like that. I feel like I got something there. I don't know. Let me cook. In closing, what do you believe? Is Bigfoot a hidden ape? Oh, a hidden ape? We didn't have it in the theories. Oh, wait, no, primate. Primate is an ape. Ape, primate, ape. Got it. Yes, yeah. Okay. Because I was thinking like Homo sapien, like earlier Homo sapien. But yeah, I guess ape. So hidden ape, an upright bear, or a protective deity of the woods? I like that. I want to know more about the protective deity of the woods. Was that just like an idea that was floated around, or does it have roots in lore of like, I think we talked about how like Aboriginal and indigenous people had a lore around like what something that sounds like Bigfoot being the like guardian of the woods. Whatever you decide, Bigfoot is become a part of the cultural wallpaper. Ooh, I love cultural wallpaper. That's great. I can see it. It's very visual. A reminder that maybe, just maybe, the wilderness still has secrets. Yeah, I like that. If you ever head out on a Bigfoot hunt, pack a camera, a notebook, and maybe a breath mint. If you smell something funky and hear heavy footsteps, well, congratulations. You might just have become part of the legend. Why breath mints? Huh? And why the notebook? Are you gonna go up to it and like, please, can you sign me notebook, sir? Please, sir. I've been looking for you for ages. He's like a paper boy for some reason. Amazing. I love that. Yeah, definitely let us know if you've ever gone on a Bigfoot hunt or would, if any like compelling evidence comes to the forefront. That's so interesting. But it's even more interesting to know that there isn't much lore to like tether it to, really. I almost feel like there's more lore against the Yeti than there is of Bigfoot, just because Bigfoot is just so like such an ever-present, like, it just like encapsulates all of the unknown of the wild, I guess. Interesting. What do you think? Let me know. Cool. So as far as some reminders, if you do end up going on that Bigfoot trek, use our Expedia affiliate link, expedia.com/affiliate/phenomena/season 3. It's the same for all of season 3. Use it to book any trip. Definitely use it to book a trip to the Pacific Northwest to go Bigfoot Sasquatch hunting, because that sounds fun. And like a totally valid reason to use an Expedia link. So do it. Ooh, now let's get into the Pokepic. So for this week's Pokepic, it's Rillaboom. I love that. Yes. And he's an ape. Love. He is the drummer Pokemon. Pokemon entry. Though it has a calm disposition, it won't tolerate those who drum up discord. It strictly disciplines offenders until they learn their lesson. Ooh, I love that. That's good. I feel like it gives the whole idea of like, if you're gonna frickin' like post up in these woods, you better leave it better than you found it. You know what I mean? It's kind of got that like, you know what I'm saying? I like it. It's got that like mildly threatening aura, but also like protector, you know? Yeah, Rillaboom's dope. I love Rillaboom. There's a Dynamax version of Rillaboom that looks like he's having a whole concert set. And it's fantastic because his usual drum turns into like a whole freaking DJ, like a CDJ set. And it looks like he's like headlighting Tomorrowland. It's amazing. Nice. I love this Pokepic. This is good. I was going to say, there's an abominable snowman Pokemon that Abomasnow, and that seems very on the nose, but there doesn't seem to be a Pokemon that's like very on the nose for Sasquatch, which is interesting. Almost like it's lore. It's like elusive, kind of just like whisper in the wind. Interesting. If you agree with this Pokepic or have another Pokepic in mind, feel free to engage, like, comment, subscribe. Also, feel free to hit us up at our email, phenomena.cases@gmail.com. Also, definitely feel free to send your personal phenomena experiences if you have any. We do a Phenomena episode at the end of every season, so I'll read your specific personal phenomena stories. So definitely email them to me so that, because I'll usually only take them from email, but if you end up like commenting them on YouTube or something, I'll still be able to see it, but email's like the best way to get it in. If you want other ways to connect with us, we also have a Patreon. We have a free tier, a $2 tier, and a $5 tier. And on the free tier, we have the Discord pinned to the very top. So if you join our Patreon, you also get access to our Discord where we talk about the Pokepics and the lore. And I post my favorite GIF on there. And it's fun. It's a fun little community. If you feel like you want to give any monthly tithing, so to speak, not to use the church. If you tithe to the church, then you should tithe to the Church of Phenomena. But yeah, no, we have $2 or $5 a month if you can spare it. It would be lovely. And it obviously adds up for us very much. And it means so much to us because right now we are doing this just out of our own time and because we love it. We're not getting paid for it yet. So yeah, help us out. Yeah, new episodes come out every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST. And next week, we're going to be talking about the game transfer phenomena. Ooh, this one is written by our very last guest writer, Austin, who is one of the rufferees, that's literally what they're called, at the dog park that I take Naya to. And the rufferees are there to make sure that all the dogs play well and play nice with each other. He's been involved. He used to write for this other podcast about games and video game lore and stuff. And he did one on BioShock, which I thought was really cool. And we talked about that. And then he was like, yeah, I'd love to write for one of your episodes. So he wrote about the game transfer phenomena. So it has to do with kind of what his special interest is, which is video games. And so I'm excited to kind of learn more about what that phenomena is about, or phenomenon rather. He's going to be our last guest writer because we now have a full arsenal, a full staff, if you will, of guest writers, or not guest writers, I guess, full-time writers. We have Jodelle Rubin, of course, our lovely co-producers and co-CEOs of Phenomena. And we have Griffin, who wrote the Bigfoot episode, the one we just went through. And then we have Angel, who wrote the sleep paralysis episode, and she expressed interest in coming on full-time. So I was like, perfect, now we have 4, and it's great. So in order to kind of fill that guest interaction slot, I guess, I'm going to start a spin-off show called Phenomena Seance, where I conjure up, so to speak, guest interviews with other like-minded creatives. And I already have, it's going to be once a month. It's going to go live on the Patreon 1 week before it goes live on YouTube. And I already have people through December, and it's going to start in August, mid-August, mid to late August is when it's going to post. But yay, fun things. I'm so excited to because I was like, okay, we don't need any more guest writers, but I still do want to interact with other guests. And so I was like, what's another way that I can cross promote with other like-minded, cool people? And I have a lot of TikTok mutuals and stuff. Sean, whose podcast I was on, is going to be on our first episode of it. So I'm very excited. Then I also reached out to a couple of my other mutual creatives, and I'm just excited to be able to talk about their favorite phenomena and then also be able to kind of talk about what they do in the creative space. Because I'm all about cross-promoting. I love it. We're a community here. Dang it. If we don't have community, we have nothing. You know what I mean? Well, that's it for this week. Remember, you can always explore the rabbit hole without falling all the way down. Okay? Stay vigilant. Keep one foot in reality at all times. And I will see you next week for the game transfer phenomena. Ooh, comment if you know what that is about, because I don't. I'll see you next week. Bye.